Hi, everybody. June here from Red Daisy Crafts. It's so great to be with you today. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of San Antonio, Texas, and thanks for joining me today. If you're catching me on the replay, I see I'm a few minutes late, so hopefully people will be looking for me. So I'm just gonna get myself ready here before we get started and give people a chance to find us. How's everybody doing this fine Sunday? Have y'all had a good weekend? I have been very busy decluttering this weekend and super happy about the progress that I have been making. Very, very happy about that and excited to come on today. I have a fun fold card for us, and I hope that you'll like it. It's a bit, I'm not sure what to call it. I'm calling it a panel fun fold. It's kind of, it could be a bit of a Z fold. I'm just not sure. And so looking forward to that. So I am just going to check us and make sure that we are streaming in the right place. Looks like we are. So let's go see for sure. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we are. It's kind of, it could be a bit of, yep, so we are good there, and hopefully you'll find us. I'm sorry again for being a few minutes late, but we have a couple of things I wanted to go over before we get started. I'm going to put us down to, well, first let me just say we have the paper pumpkin coming. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is the right one. We have the paper pumpkin subscription coming on April 10th. If you haven't gone and logged into your Stampin' Up! Account and claimed your paper pumpkin subscription, you definitely need to do that by the 10th of April. So if you haven't done that, make sure you go and do it. You're going to miss your subscription if you do not go and get that taken care of. The April paper pumpkin is Inked Occasions. It is 9 cards, 3 of 3 designs, and I'm super excited because it's going to have some really beautiful designs using alcohol inks. So I can't wait to see what the design team came up with for us. I think it's going to be amazing, and the colors are gorgeous. It's Berry Burst. That's going to be the Stampin' Spot. Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, Peach Pie, and Pool Party. Lots of bright, beautiful colors. So I can't wait to see what that kit looks like. Now, I also wanted to just chat with you for a moment because we do have some changes that have been taking place, and you should have received an email about your paper pumpkin. That the price is going up from $25 to $27. That change is happening on the 11th of April. So it is going to be with that April subscription. And so just be prepared for that. Now, the good news is that the reward system within Stampin' Up! Has also changed. And I'm not the greatest when it comes to this, so please, check with your demonstrator if you have questions. But there was a whole email about it, and it looks like for people that just have a monthly subscription that you're going to get 2 in earned rewards each month. So you will be able to spend your $2 when you go and do some shopping online. I believe that's how it's going to work. And so just be aware of that. Now, if you decide that you want to get a prepaid subscription, you do get a tiny bit of savings with that. I believe those prices have gone up as well. And there are 3 months. You can get a 6-month and then a 12-month subscription. And so please consider that, because even when you do shop that way, you save a bit, but you also get the rewards now on your purchases when you do that. Now, with the 12-month, you would have and the 6-month, you would have gotten a Stampin' Rewards even if you had shopped that way. As a matter of fact, I usually do a 12-month every year, and just because it's a little less expensive, and also it just then I don't have to worry about it, and I just use my little code and it gets all set up. So you just want to make sure that you have gone in the back and taking care of claiming your Paper Pumpkin subscription. If you have questions, please reach out to your demonstrator. If you are my Paper Pumpkin subscriber, please feel free to reach out to me. I did send you an email that provided detailed instructions, so please just don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions, okay? And so with that, we are going to go ahead and get started on our project. I want to start with a little quick card that I'm going to grab my info here. I'm going to put us down to the table now. And we're going to do a quick and easy card first that is not a fun fold, but then I have a fun fold for you, and I'm super excited to share that with you. So we're going to start with a card base that is early espresso, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's going to get scored in the center at 4 1/4. Get my cutting blade out of the way. Okay, and then we are going to use a couple elements from our kit, and so I'm going to grab one of the envelopes. Is that the envelope I want? Which envelope do I want? I actually think I might like this envelope. So we're going to grab that. And then I'm going to grab the Pool Party colored card stock or card base. And then I am going to also grab the floral, yes, this card base, okay. And then I'm going to grab one of the sheets of flowers so that we can get some elements, die cut elements. Is that just one there? I guess it is. For us to utilize. Oh, that came out of there. And I'm going to get our hives out, and we're going to get one of the sentiment labels. There we go. All right, so we are going to utilize these pieces. I am only adding in some of the early espresso card stock. We're going to use the envelope of the leftover pieces from the envelope for the inside panel for you to write on your card. So I am just going to go ahead and trim off the edges of our envelope. We haven't used any of the envelopes yet on any of our cards this month. And so today we are going to, on both of the cards. So the first thing I want to do is, let's see, I want to have this piece, and I need it to be 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to see here. I think that's going to work out fine if I just do it on the inside of that score line. I just don't want to have it fraying. And sometimes when you cut down the score line in the envelope, the paper, because it's thinner, it just kind of frays a bit. You can see that here. You see how it kind of frays, and I was trying to get away from that. It could just mean my blade is needing to be trimmed or changed, but let's just see if I can. No, I think my blade needs to be changed. So let me do that real quick while we before we go any farther, because otherwise I'm going to keep trimming away the where are my blades? Thought I had some in here. Sorry folks, just need to find my blades. I know I have them nearby. I just have to find them, because that is going to bother me. Oh, good night. Good night. Let's find some blades. Here we go. All right. So, in case you've never changed your blade, you do need to change it. And one way to know when you need to change it is when your paper starts to fray. So we are just gonna toss that now and put in a new one, and hopefully that's gonna resolve all the issues that we're having. Okay, so I am now gonna trim beyond this point just to get a clean edge. Oh yeah, ta-da. Very nice. See, we went from that to that. So it just takes a little tiny bit for you to get a nice clean cut on your trimmer with a new blade. All right, so once again, I need this to be 2 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. So I am going to trim this down to 5 1/4. Okay, like so. There we go. And that's going to be one side of our card front. Okay, and then we are going to use this card base to create the other piece that we need. So this one, we need it to be 1 1/2 inches. Okay, and so I want a piece 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, and so we're gonna have that right there. Oops, there we go. All right, so that is our second piece. Okay, now I did say that I was going to use the inside of the envelope. Oh, we might be able to use this here. So let me just cut this off right here on the inside. Okay, and if we can trim this just to get a nice clean edge here. Oh, why is it giving me a hard time? There we go. It's just this envelope. It's all the little folds and all the extra things. So here I'm going to make this 4 1/4 inches. Perfect. And then let's get 3 1/4 here. And that is, it's small, but it's a good inside for the card so that you have a place to make a note. Okay, and then we still have our little flower on the edge, so we have a nice inside for our card. Okay, so I'm just getting some of my little pieces out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to pop off one of these here so we can keep that. And I'll move this out of the way and this out of the way. And we already scored our card base. So I'm not sure yet what flowers I want. So we're going to just move that out of the way, put my blades away, and then we will get started. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. I hope you'll just pop in and say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. It's great to have you joining today. We're doing a quick card here at the beginning, and then we are going to create a fun fold card that will take a little bit longer. So I wanted to do this kind of quick at the beginning. So just a fun little card that we have here. We are going to put this way. Okay, that's going to go here, and this piece is going to go right here like so. And I do want it to go over this piece, so that's that piece there. Okay, and we're going to have a little message down here with our hive, and we're going to get a bumblebee out here, and we will be adding in a flower, maybe 2 actually. I think that fits right there nicely. And then let's have another one. Let's see here. Maybe we will put that one up there and then grab a smaller one to go over here so that we just continue to add to that area. Okay. All right. So before we do all of that, I want to do some stamping. Okay. So we're going to do some stamping on those pieces. Now, I do want to look for my stamps. I have them put away. Oh, let me grab that. I didn't realize that was in here. My little mini dimensionals were in there. Okay. All right. So I think I would like to add this really cool hives stamp to the background. Okay. And let's go ahead and put it on our block. Looks like it's just going to fit on here. And then I'm just going to do some rubbing like I do to get some of this residue off of here. It seems to really be the trick for me in getting good ink adhesion to the stamp. And it makes it a bit cloudy at first, but it has worked really well. A big stamp like this is hard to do, so I'm really curious to see how it does as well. So let's give it a try on a piece of cardboard. That's usually my go-to. And getting our little ink out. All right, so let's just see how we do. with it. But I've been wanting to use this texture to see how it acts. Oh, well, that's no good. We need our foam mat. We need the foam mat for this bigger stamp. Yes, that's going to be really cool. As a matter of fact, I may want to do a second generation. Oh, wow. It does not want to get in that spot. All right. That's why we test it. Hi, Melanie. Thanks for joining. This is why we test things, right? Let's do it again. Still not the greatest, but it's nice. All right, so I am going to do second generation on here and just see what happens with it. Now I am going to huff on my stamp because it will kind of reactivate the ink, the moisture from my breath. And so I'm just going to huff on here, okay? And I'm going to come in. So I actually am glad with this. I'm happy with this. And that's all I was really looking for, was just a bit of, you know, texture to go on down here. We might actually do one more, and I don't need the whole stamp. So let's just see if I can get a little bit up here as well. So you can see there what that looks like. And I just put some down here like so. Oh yeah, I'm really happy with that. Just gives it a nice little texture to the paper. So that stamp, though, does not want to be even. So we'll have to play around with that some more. But I got what I wanted out of this at the moment. So we're going to move on with the project. Okay, not done stamping though. All right, I wanted to also utilize some other stamps here. So let's see what we got. I have the sweetest birthday wishes. Enjoy your special day. Let's see. Wishing you brighter days ahead. What's that little thing? I guess that's part of the bee. Huh. Interesting. I think I'm going to use enjoy your special day on here. So I have my little sentiment tag here, and I believe this fits on there. Perfect. All right, so let's just ink this up. I've used this stamp before, so it should be ready to go. I'm putting it towards the bottom, and I'm even going to move it off to the right for placement. And that came out perfectly. There we go. So very nice. We got that. Then on the inside, what can we put? I think we'll use the flower. This makes a nice little ad, especially the line work on it is really beautiful. And so I just think it'll be a nice little add to this for writing a sentiment. So that's that. All right, and then I think that's it for now that we're gonna do. And I'm just moving all of my little doodads out of the way. Okay. All right. So now I do think I want to put a couple of hive stamps on here. And I'm going to use this to be the background. So I do need one more block out. And let's see. I think this will work. Yes. This is a B. This block is a B size. I'm using my ergonomic blocks. I got a few of the D size. I find that I do better stamping with them, and instead of the blocks that came in the paper pumpkin kit. I just think these are nice to have on hand, and so if you haven't tried them, you might want to give that a go. And just gonna add a few more of these onto here. Just to give it a little bit more texture. Okay. And that's all we're going to do there. Just add a little bit of texture. All right, so we got our stamping done. And now we can put our card together. So let's just go ahead and start with the inside. This is going to go on the inside like so. And that darn camera doesn't like to deal with all of these pieces. It's so funny how it wants to try and focus on everything, and so it keeps shifting. So I apologize for that. One day I'll get that figured out. So it stops doing that. All right, so we are just going to center this on the inside of our card base like so, and use my bone folder to just smooth out the glue. And so that's the inside of our card, and I love having the little sunflower or daisy right there in the corner. All right, and so now let's put together the outside. So first we're going to put down this layer like so, and we want it in this direction. All right, so let's just put that on. And again, this is from our envelope. And we stamped the hive texture background stamp on here, 2nd generation. Okay, so 2nd generation, and that's that. All right, and then we'll put this one on here like so. Actually going to put it the other direction. All right. All right, so that's our outside. That's where we are right now. Do I need glue here? I think it feels like there's not any glue there. Just wanting to make sure that gets adhered down good. All right, so then we have our sentiment that we are going to add on down here. Now I do think I'm going to add some linen thread on here. And let's see. I think that's what I need. I'm tend to overestimate a lot of times, but I like to put it through my finger and my nail just to kind of take away a lot of that kinky curly stuff. Okay, and we're gonna have just a little bow going on down here by our sentiment. So we just wrapped it around twice, and just getting a nice bow on here. Okay, I didn't have that much extra, so there we go. Nice. Okay, then we're going to add our sentiment right down here. Okay, and we're going to use some dimensionals for that. And I have my dimensionals here. Now I specifically wanted my sentiment to be towards the bottom because I think I will be attaching something here eventually, and so we'll see what happens, but I think that one's going to go right there. So I'm just going to add one dimensional on here like so. That's going to kind of tack down our it's going to tack down our linen thread that we put on. Okay, then I'm going to add this little small like half daisy. It's not half, but it's just, that's how the image looks. And we're just going to add that up here like so. And then we have one more that we'll add to it. Oops. And we're going to add right over here like so. There we go. So we just added some extra flowers on there like that. All right, so then I think my little bee is going to come in, and I'm going to attach him right down here like so. Okay, so I'm going to use a glue dot because I think that's all I need. If I put him this direction, yeah. There we go. Just like so. So cute, isn't he? Love it. Really cute, simple card using the elements from the kit. And we have only added in some of cardstock. So that's what you get with this, all right? So really fun card here. All right, then the next card we're going to make is a fun fold, and I'm super excited to show this to you. I'm going to move that out of the way, and I want you to see, like, this is the fun fold card here, and it has a belly band, so the belly band just slides off, all right, and that whole piece is attached to there. All right, see? And then this is our card, and so it folds like this, and then when you open it up, it looks like this. It is super cute, and give you a little closer view of it. All right, So using again all the pieces from the kit, the stamps, and some of the card bases and envelopes, and then some white cardstock. So really fun card we're going to design together. It's going to probably look totally different because I brought in some other stuff from the kit to design with. But we are going to create this card. Okay. All right. So I wanted to be able to show you some of the measurements and things like that. So we are starting with a piece that is 5.5 inches by 11. Okay, so it's your 8.5 by 11 card stock, but it's cut down to 5.5 inches by 11, and then it's going to get scored at 1 1/4 and 5.5 and 9 1/4. Okay, so we're going to do that together. I have my piece that is 11 by 5.5. Okay, so I'm just getting my trimmer out so that we can do some scoring. Okay, so the first score line is at 1 1/4 inch. Okay, so I've got my paper in here and I'm just gonna score this real good. I have the thick cardstock, so want to make sure I get a good score line. So then I'm going to 5.5. Okay. And then I am going to 9 1/4. Okay. Awesome. All right. So that is the score lines we needed for our card base. So we'll get our trimmer out of the way. I'm going to get a drink. All right. So then, oh, we need our trimmer. Sorry, wrong. We still need to cut a few things. So I do have an inside piece that I cut. Our card base is white, so I probably don't need it, but I kind of like the idea of the layer, and because you can still see it in the cards. So I want to go ahead and use it, but that inside piece is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Okay, so I just show you that right here. That's the layer you're going to cut for the inside of the card. If I can get this to focus. Why will you not focus? There. Oh my goodness. How frustrating. I wonder if we're having any issues, although I haven't seen any problem. We're also going to need a belly band for this card, and it is 1.5 inches by 10 inches. And so I already have that cut. So that's ready to go. Okay. And then I do want one panel piece that is 5 1/4 by 1.5 inches. So I have that cut already. Okay. And then I am going to need a couple of pieces for our card. All right. And so we're going to do some trimming on the cardstock here. So I do need a piece that is, actually I'm going to get two pieces that are 5 1/4 by 3.5. One of them I'm going to use the pool party card base for. So I need to cut this at 3.5. Okay. Like so. And then we're going to trim this to 5 1/4. Just like so. Okay. And so we're going to need that. We'll use that piece. And then I'm going to use this piece to do the same thing, and I want the flowers in it. So I am going to go ahead and trim this to 3.5. Whoops, I almost cut that short. 3.5. And I am going to trim off 1/8 of an inch from each side here, because I want to trim off 1/4 total, but I'd rather it not be off. I'd rather it be more so that the flowers remain centered in it. So we have this piece, and we're going to use that for our card. Then I need 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 5.25. So I'm going to use the hive portion of this card base. So I'm going to do 1 inch by 5.25 right here. All right. And then I need a second one, and I'm going to use the same portion of card base. So just the hives again. Okay. And then this is going to be extra, and we can use it on another card. So just trimming this down to 5.25, like so. Okay. And then I think that's all of our pieces that we need to put our card together. So I'm going to get rid of our trimmer for now. And we need to do some stamping. So the first, we're going to need to stamp on that inside layer. And then I want to stamp on the blue, the pool party, and we have this piece to stamp on. So let me just get the card back so you can see. So this piece here, this part of the card right here, that's this piece. Okay, so we're going to do some stamping on that. All right. And then you can see on the inside of here, I did some stamping. All right. And, you know, this is the piece that I just showed you. And then we have a little bit that we put on the inside of that card layer. Okay. And so, that's the stamping we're going to do. And then of course we need to have our sentiment. Okay. And, the sentiment, and I have happy birthday here. So I may stick with that, but let me get one of the sentiment labels because I did not have that handy. And I'm also going to pull off one of the little hives for us to use. So let's see here. Where are my sentiment labels? Here we go. All right, so which one was I using? This one, that's what I thought. So we have this big one. Okay. Awesome. All right, so let's just do some of the stamping, okay? And I am going to grab a piece of paper from my notes from earlier, because I don't need those again. And I'm just going to use that under here, just so that we can have a place to go off the page and all of that. Okay. And so here we're going to put, this time I think I'm going to use this hive stamp. And so I am going to, we're going to give this a go again. All right. And we're going to put on full strength. Okay. In a few places. All right. And I think that's going to be so fun for this card. Okay. And might just put one right here in the center. Try and press really good so I get a good, oh good, that's much better. I don't know, we were having issues earlier. All right, and then let's do one down here, maybe like this. And then let's put one up here in this corner. And then we'll put some down at the bottom corner. Not sure, I might want to change up which side I use. There we go. There we go. Right. Okay, so that's what this page ends up looking like. I love it very much. It's so fun. Gives it a lot of new texture. So we're going to have that piece. Okay, now this is the inside piece for our sentiment. And let's see, let's see. Oh, I got bees stuck to my thing here. Let's do thank you on the outs. We're going to do that on the outside, but on the inside, what can we use? Can we use, let's see. Thank you for always being there for me. We can still put that on the inside. So I just need another block here. Okay, so I got this. And we're going to bring it down a bit. So we have room at the top for the flower. So we have room up here at the top, yes. Now, I am not coloring this flower in, but you could color this flower in. I think it would be gorgeous. I love the line work on it, but I'm just keeping this really simple, okay? So there you have that, all right? Nice. Okay, so we have our inside panel, we have our outside panel, we have our sentiment, and we want thank you on here. Let me just get that on a block here, and I don't think I've used the thank you, so let me just make sure it's all good to go. I can't, at least I don't think I have. Maybe I did. Let's test it. Looks good to me. Has any of you made this kind of card before? It's kind of a new fold for me, and I'm really loving it, to be honest. So there's our little thank you. Good. All right, and then the last thing we have to do is stamp on here. And for this piece, I am going to use this again because the other one is going on the inside of the card. This will be on showing up on the outside of the card. So I think it's perfect to use the same design. Oh, that's going to be nice. All right, so Y'all are very quiet today. I hope y'all are having a good Sunday, and I hope that everybody's doing all right. Let me see if I can get that up in the corner there. I like that. All right. Now I'm going to move those out of the way. Get a drink. Move our little messy paper out of the way, and we can start to put our card together. And this is so fun. I am just so excited about this. All right, so you have the short 1 1/4 score line on the left, okay, and you have the wider where you did it at 9 1/4. That piece is on the right. So we're going to fold down the middle score line first. Let me get my bone folder. Okay. And then we're going to bring this one back this way. Okay, like so. And then this one's going to fold over this way. Okay. And that's how we get our 3 panels. Okay, like that. All right. And I am once again trying to battle the images on my screen because it does not like it. It's so weird for focusing. All right, so we are going to start to put our layers in. So the first one I'm going to put down is this layer. It's going to go right here on the inside where you can write your sentiment, okay? So I'm going to use our multi-purpose liquid glue and see what we have here, okay? And I'll get this bone folder out and just smooth that out, okay? And then the next piece we're going to put down is going to be this card piece, okay? And that is going to go here, and this one is going to go here. Is that so fun? I love it. So we're going to put this one down. First. Like so. Then we'll put this one down. I can't wait to see how different these cards will end up looking. Even though they have very similar colors and similar materials used. So very fun. That is our inside so far. So when it closes right now, this is what it looks like. Okay. And now in here, we're going to utilize some of the daisies that came in the kit. So I'm just getting my piece out here. Okay. And now on the other one, I used these, okay, and I cut them down and layered them on here. I am trying to decide if this time I will just use this right here on it. But I kind of like the other one better. So I did use 2 of these. And you know, on the card for the kit, you know, the design, it has you using them like this, right? And you could do that so easily, but I just didn't want to do that. And so I trimmed these. So I'm going to show you on here. Um, I am trimming it right in here. Okay. And so I'm just cutting along that leaf until it breaks off. All right. So now I have two of the daisies there. And then I'm looking here. So it looks like I don't need to trim anything else. That all looks clean from that perspective. All right. And then on this one, I trimmed here. Okay. And just like that. Okay. But now I have to unleash it from this piece right here. So I'm just taking my leaf there and cutting it away from the petal, and I'm doing the same for this one. All right. And now I need to do a little bit of cleanup right here. Okay. And so I'm just trimming off the white that is showing and trying to just make it look like it continues on as part of the leaves and the greenery there. Okay. And so the first one that I put down was this one. And so I just kind of added it on to here with some glue. And obviously not a lot. You don't need a lot. It's also on the inside of the card, so it's not going to have to go in and out of an envelope. So I don't need to put a ton of glue on here. Okay. But I do want to be able to tuck my other piece in so that I can layer it in down here. Okay. And so I'm just putting on some glue on the flower here and just a tiny bit there. All right. And this one's going to tuck right in there, like so. So that we just have our flower coming down like that. So we're just making like a whole little vinery of flowers. Okay. So now I'm going to have these guys coming along here. Actually, I may have it this way because then I can bring this guy in down here. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe they'll go down here and this guy will go up here. Oh, kind of like that. Nice. All right, let me put this on here. So I'm going to tuck this one in right under here, like so. And he's all on the page, so he's not going to get folded or anything like that. And then these will be right down here, like so. All right. And so these are the daisies that we're just adding. And this is just a design. Like there's no message or anything like that. It's just we are brightening the day of whoever opens up this card and gets to see these beautiful flowers inside. So nice, right? So that's our inside. Hello. Okay, now we have two other little panels that we need to put on. So we have this one that will go here. Okay, and then this one's going to go on the outside. So let's just put these down like so. And have this put together. There we go. And then this one out here. It's coming together so nice. Okay. We're almost to the finish line. So thanks for hanging with me. All right, that's the inside of the card. So beautiful. And then here's our outside. Now we have to put something here, right? And so if you might recall, I have this piece to go here. Isn't that gonna be beautiful? Yay! Awesome. And I think I prefer the other way, but I'm just trying it out to see if I want the flower like that, or do I want the little edge of I think I want this. All right, so we're just putting this down, and that is going to be here. This has just come out so pretty. I'm so excited. I hope you love it and are getting such a kick out of this. But that's our outside. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, now we just have to do our belly band and our little adding on here. So I am going to need a smaller daisy like this, and I think I already had some bumblebees out here. I'm looking, but there they are. There's my bumblebee. All right, and then we have our little hive. And so the first thing I'm going to put down is the hive, and I'm using a glue dot on my sentiment tag. I'm just putting it right here in the upper corner. Okay, and I'm just putting my hive on just like that. All right, so that's what we have. See there? All right, then I'm going to use my dimensionals. So let me get a dimensional here. And we're just going to add that right here. And we're going to figure out the best positioning. So I think that works out really well. Like so. Okay. And then we have our little bee. It's going to come in just like that. So I just need a little glue dot, or a little dimensional, mini dimensional here on the bee's head. So the bee is coming in right like that. Okay. And that is what's going to go on our belly band. All right. Now, my belly band already had a score line, so I'm using that. Okay. And I am going to just trim this off a tad, like so. Okay. And I am just going to wrap this around here and glue this down. we go. So we have our, and this is crushed curry, by the way. I'm using crushed curry. And I think it works so well for this. It's a little bit of a darker yellow, but definitely coordinates very nicely here. So I'm just giving it a minute to get that nice and adhered. It won't be fully dry, but it's going to be good at this point. Okay. Guess I did have a hive out. All right. Then this is going to get put right on here with some dimensionals. Okay. And you can see here, getting our belly band back on. It's nice and snug. Nice and snug. Okay. Nice and snug. All right. This is going to go right here. And I guess maybe I could put this one in the center. This one will be good in the center. Okay. All right. So let me just put my glue dots or my dimensionals on the back of my sentiment label. And we're going to put that right in the center of our belly band. Just like so. And there we have it. Love it. Now I do want to add some of those beautiful brass butterflies to this one because we have room. So I'm not sure where my take your pick tool is, so I'm just gonna put one butterfly here, and we're gonna add one over here like so. And that is that. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I really have had a really good fun time today, and I hope that you like the card that the two cards that we made today. One is like super simple but absolutely beautiful, and then we made this fun fold with belly band. Super fun. All right. And gorgeous on the inside. Absolutely gorgeous. Stunning on the inside. And I will post pictures of these on the group site. And there's our other card. So such a fun time. Thank you so much. Here's my sample that I made. All right. Well, thank you. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.